Hello friends, let's study further the poem Punishment written by Seamus Heaney. And as I told you, I would be bringing you the image that comes with this poem is this. Look at the body of this individual, this girl. You can plainly see the rope that is tied in her neck with which she must have been dragged. The bones that are visible under the bare skin of this girl, the hair that no longer give the appearance of hair, and the face which even in death carries the pain, carries the anguish, and with her eyes looking down, it is as if the tight lips, because the society might not have allowed her a scope to tell her part of the story. And this is the most brutal punishment that can ever be accorded to anyone. When Seamus Heaney began the poem, he said that he could feel how this girl must have felt alive, stripped of clothes and being dragged and dropped into a bog. Then Seamus Heaney also mentioned that he could see how the stones, the weight tied to the rope must have perforce sunk her into the bog. And he could also see the rods that pointed at her, the bows that forced her against her wishes of coming on the surface, and must have plainly seen in cold blood the girl die in the bog. So we continue. Under which, this under is for the weight that was tied in the rope, and the rods and the bows with which the people stood around and saw that she sank. Under this weight, so there was the weight, a physical weight of the stones and the rods and the bows, under which at first she was a barked sapling that is dug up. So under this weight, she was like a barked. Barked is cleaned away, scratched sapling. So she has not even grown properly. She is too young to be killed. The expression sapling suggests that she is very small. She is very tender in age. She was a barked sapling that is dug up, oak bone, brain firkin. So she was like oak bone, brown in color. The dark complexion of the girl has been mentioned here, and brain firkin. Firkin is a cask, the container in which we keep wines. So this girl, her brain carries the intoxicated thoughts. With that, she was buried, and which she retains even now. She is now dug up only to be exposed as brown as the oak bone and still suffering the pain the pain inflicted upon her by the people who were intoxicated by the idea of their own greatness and assuming themselves to be too good, they killed this girl. So her brain carries the pangs of that. Her shaven head like a stubble of black corn. So she was also shaven. The hair that is that are really the aspects of a woman's beauty, they were they were shorn off. They were just removed from her head, and now in death that she has been pulled out from that bog, her shaven head is like the stubble of a black corn. Stubble is the remaining part of a corn. Completely, corns are the upper part of uh, some cereals like wheat and barley, etc. When that corn is removed, what remains is just a stubble. So that stubble, her head looks like that stubble. We see that the poet is constantly making parallels with life, with lively things, and paralleling them with the dead parts, with the dead body of this girl. Her blindfold, a soiled bandage. Blindfold is the black cloth which is tied on the head, on the eyes of the person who is being subjected to corporal punishment. The black strip of cloth. So the blindfold, even in when she has been dug out, the blindfold is there. It looks like a soiled bandage. Soiled is dirty, bandage. The Seamus Heaney is saying that it is like nature's way of tying a bandage upon the wounds that might have come, upon the tears that might have flown from her eyes in helplessness. So there is a soiled bandage. The blindfold has turned into a soiled bandage. Her noose, a ring. Noose is the rope which is tied in the neck. So that noose has turned like a ring. So hard it has become. It appears like a ring to store the memories of love. When people are wedded, they give each other a ring, which is the method to solemnize the beautiful bond which is a marriage. And the poet Seamus Heaney is really pricking upon the conscience of the people. And he says that you might have killed her, but she still wears, though not in the finger, but in the neck, she wears the noose as a ring, and which is the memory of love. Little adulteress, before they punished you, the poet addresses her as little adulteress. It is shameful for any society to punish children. Sorry, not child, she must have been slightly grown, but still she was too young. She could have brought back onto the path that the parents decide or the society decided. But no, she was branded an adulteress. Adulteress is, as I told you earlier, is a girl that has broken the customs of the society and has had physical relations with someone. So he addresses her as adulteress, but then he also uses the term little adulteress. Before they punished you, you were flaxen haired, undernourished, and your tar black face was beautiful. So much convinced is Seamus Heaney about the beauty of this girl that he can plainly visualize her beauty, and he says that you were flaxen haired, undernourished because of your poverty. You stayed a fragile character, a fragile being, and your face, though it was tar black, but it was beautiful. My poor scapegoat. We can see the sympathy of the poet with this girl. He says, you are a scapegoat. Scapegoat is a goat that is tied when one goes on to hunt a tiger. So, this plainly hints at the tendency of mankind that when they have bigger targets in viewpoint, they care less to kill someone who also has life. So the bigger target that the society must have had was to warn people that they should not observe adultery, and for this they could catch only this poor girl who worked as a scapegoat. She is sacrificed in order to obtain larger results. With the two expressions, little adulteress, which, despite the fact that it is about adultery that he is speaking, but the term little also shows the sympathy of the poet towards her. And the term poor, my poor, there is, the poet places a kind of affinity. The poet goes close to her. In her sheer helplessness, when no one is by her side, the poet sides up with her and says, you are my poor scapegoat. You have died to serve some ulterior end of this heartless society. I almost love you. And this seals the thought of the poet here. He says, I almost love you. Now, looking at you as having been killed for no bigger reason, I love you. With the thought that I can feel you have been sacrificed at the hands of some helpless society who couldn't punish the big culprit, and they killed you. I almost love you, but would have cast, I know, the stones of silence. He says, although I love you, but in the mad frenzy of the crowd that was putting you to death, if I was there, even I would have cast the stones of silence. So, two ways you can kill someone. One, with some concrete object like stones and weights and rods and boughs. You can kill them. But there are times when you can also kill someone with silence. Someone is being killed and you stay quiet. You do not make a comment. You do not exhort people to abstain from this criminal act. So you are also killing them. So the poet says, even I find myself as a culprit because I know I was a part of that crime that was conducted onto you, the crime of of punishment. So even I would have cast the stones of silence. This is all for today, because here the poet has put a full stop, but still the stanza continues. We shall do it in the next lecture. Thank you.